This show is going to include like some superstar guests, sexy storytelling, a game show with mystery guests, which were only just revealed to me moments before I took the stage, and I actually don't know what else. So let's get started. The first part of the show is going to be all about sexual storytelling. I love storytelling. I love storytelling series. Like, for example, Body Storytelling is an amazing one that comes to LA. I like when they're a little bit naughty at the Moth. They can't get that much naughty because, you know, the NPR will pull their funding. But I really love storytelling, and so I've picked some of my favorite people to tell stories, and they're going to tell stories too. They really got to choose the story. I said that like it could be on a topic about something I love, and if you know me at all, you know that that's a big list. So I don't know what stories they're going to tell today, but I'm going to introduce you to our first storyteller. She is literally one of the funniest sex educators I know, because her brand of humor, compassion, and curiosity are the perfect combination. She has a wildly popular podcast called Sex Nerd Sandra, which you should all be listening to. If you listen to this podcast, you should listen to her podcast. You'll love it. Please welcome our first storyteller, Sandra Doherty.
I didn't know this was gonna have to be a sexy story. So I am on my back, in bed. Oh,
I forgot.
there's
I
technical
feel
stuff.
like I'm multitasking too.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Great. I'll sit over there for now.
Who's two of me? Okay. Where was I? Oh, right, on my back. And I'm not wearing pants. My legs are up in the air. And my partner in the next room hears this. Ow! Oh! Next scene. I am standing right here, literally right here at the Pleasure Chest years ago. And I am co-teaching with someone. And I suddenly need to vomit really hard. And that happens. We'll get back to that. I am going down on the woman who is going to become my very long-term girlfriend. It's the first time. It's in the dark. It's on a giant ship. I'm surrounded by sleeping sex educators. They're probably pretending to be asleep. And I am about to die. Like literally, I can't breathe. And it's over. This is my life, okay? So I thought about it's Tristan's birthday and like, you know, happy birthday! You know, we're not, you know, we haven't known each other a long time. We've known of each other. I mean, I've been using your butt plug for years, so thanks for that. It's good. But you don't know a lot about me, you know? I realized I should just, you know, just lay it out there. So, I mean, I identify as a professional sex nerd, you know, interview people, tell people about neat things I know, but like, I'm never gonna be like, I know the things, because you know what? I fuck up. So, let's talk about the first situation. Dying. This is a dental dam. Woo! Any sex educator is going to tell you to use them for oral sex or rimming because it's really good for STI transmission, and it's really easy. Like, it's totally like easier than you think, you know? Because you just like put it over somebody's genitals, and you put a little loop first, and then you do like that, and then you put your mouth on there, and then everybody's having a good time. Yay, dental dam, safe sex, woo, right? And you get that spiel, and you hear it, and like I heard it enough times, so then when I became a sex educator, then I'm telling people, like, yeah, dental dam's no big deal. But had I ever used a dental dam? No. So I think, great, I'm in love with a woman. Let me use a dental dam. And guess what I learned, Tristan? I learned that I have misinformed thousands of people. is if you rest a latex dental dam on a vulva that is moist, you get a scrunched up little, basically just a broken condom, and then you breathe it in, and you don't want to wake up Nina Hartley or Charlie Glickman or anybody else who knows a lot about sex, because they're sleeping, and they gotta work in the morning on this boat. And so I'm literally Heimliching myself while I'm trying to still give excellent head to a woman I'm trying to impress. I love what I do. So, deep throating. Sex educators, we like to pass this little tidbit around. Oh yeah, deep throating, easy. You just gotta really open your throat, like a sword swallower, no big deal. If you have a hard time, you can just kind of rest on a bed, put your head over the bed, just open up wide, guide your partner, maybe put your hands on their thighs. They can just be like, oh, here's my dick, yay. That's how babies are made. So I think, I'm co-teaching, and this person wants to learn about how to be a teacher. So I just let them hold this. It may actually literally be this dildo, because I grabbed it from up there, and I used to teach her. So I have my teaching partner hold the dildo like that, and I am leaning over and give you one of these chairs. Who's sitting in the chair that I sat on? And I am upside downsies. I would say a good 25 bachelorettes, just drunk, just banners and just hollering, excited about learning how to deep throat. And so I'm like the boss of deep throating, so I got to throw down right now. So I go upside down, I guide my buddy into my mouth, and within about 5 inches, it's Vomit City, USA. But I will tell you this, Tristan, you birthday girl. No one knew that I threw up. Because, yeah, right here, literally. I felt the upchuck happen. I guided my partner away. It came up. I took the dildo out of my mouth, I cleaned it off clean. It was freaking Tristan. Committed. I swallowed and I took a bow and I said, that's how you deep throat.
There's more.
All right. Clearly in terms of storytelling, now we know that's the punchline. This, what I'm holding up, podcast listeners, is a sterling silver, stainless steel, beautiful butt plug. This is a large, enjoy, pure butt plug, whatever. I don't know. I've been selling sex toys for a while. Most people, when they buy this, get the medium, because the medium is the one you get. That's just the way it is, unless you're a butt star. This is how this story started. I think of you, I think of butt stuff. I think of my butt, I think of your butt, I think of butt butts. So, here's the thing about materials. As a sex educator, you say, hey, so there's different kinds of materials. Silicone's really healthy for your body. It's non-porous, doesn't have materials, you can boil it. And borosilicate glass, great too. And stainless steel, super sexy. Check this out. Long-term wear, just with lube on it, it's just so slippery and wonderful and beautiful and no big deal. So I tell people this. I sell tons of butt plugs because that's what I did with my life. And I think I'm going to buy the large for myself because I know that I know my ass. I mean, philosophically, I knew my ass. I don't actually go back to that often when I think about it, So I'm on my back and I've lubed up a large Enjoy butt plug. And I push it gingerly to my ass, and I learned something that day. That just because the material is slippery doesn't mean your muscles just suddenly stand at the side and go, oh, right this way, sir. So I missed a step as a sex educator, Tristan. And that's why I call myself a sex nerd. It's more space to fuck up. Just tell you guys about it. Happy birthday!
my butt plug, she was not talking about a butt plug I own. It was actually a butt plug named after me. It's made by Vixen Creations, which used to be out of San Francisco. It's a women-owned and run company. It's called the Tristan. My mom is so proud. And still, the alumni magazine of Wesleyan University, my alma mater, has not done a story. But I am the only Wesleyan alum to have a butt plug named after them in the history of the school. I'm bitter about it. Okay. So our next guest was kind of a selfish pick for me because she's so damn hot to look at, and she's a YouTube superstar. Mark my words, she is the next big thing. Trust me. She will not be returning my phone calls in like 5 months. Just following her on social media makes me feel a little bit cooler. Please welcome Gaby Dunn.
I see. Yes, hello. Old headshot. Yeah, don't have to go.
Sit here now. Is that okay?
No, that's I mean, you called me hot. There was a lot of pressure. Now you're just gonna watch me tell a story. No big deal. I'm sweating. Okay. Yeah. So I'm a writer. So this is more a story that has to do with sex, but also witchcraft. I don't know if anyone here. Oh, man, we came to the right place. I don't know why I was worried at all. Okay. Okay, so this is about my virginity. Let's talk about it. So, though I met Jessie Lynn at Hebrew School, our friendship was based on a mutual interest in the occult. Oh, Hebrew School got a good. We are doing great, guys. I paid you all to be here. Okay. Yeah, I met her at Hebrew School, and we had a mutual interest in the occult. So we were 7, and we were both bored with our normal suburban lives, and maybe we had seen like Hocus Pocus or Buffy. So we were obsessed with the idea that we had secret powers, and that we were more than just like average little girl. It was like a Harry Potter thing, like when are our letters coming? So they don't. So we'd hang out and lock ourselves in her bedroom, and we'd steal spoons from the kitchen and bend them with our eyes, or like stare into the mirror and try to jump into an alternate universe, or like squint at stuffed animals and try to set them on fire. We just like, and we would just record our stuff in a journal. We were obsessed with being powerful, essentially. So years later, my mom took me to the public library to check out new books, and I snuck into the occult section and managed to take home this huge, dusty book of ancient spells. So I don't know, in my memory it's that. I wonder if it was just like a new age Wiccan, like spell book for the modern woman with a Y type situation. But yeah, so I took it home, and I snuck in my bathroom because I had a purpose. From 3rd grade to 8th grade, I was in love with a boy in my grade. And the feelings I had for this boy could only be categorized as desperate. He was popular, part of a group of 4 of the most athletic boys in our grade, who by middle school had started calling themselves the Final Four. He was half Mexican, half Spanish, with a pale face full of adorable freckles and dark hair, and he played soccer, and he was a cool kid. I, on the other hand, was a nerd. Are we surprised? I hid a spell book in my bathroom. Did you think I was going to turn out to be popular? Pay attention. So I wanted to be a writer, and I wrote all the time and read all the time and was constantly reading different novels and stuff. But this boy was smart, too, because the only motivation we ever had to talk to each other came after we took these IQ tests and the scores were revealed at the beginning of the school year. And so he came up to me in the lunch line and was like, looks like we're the 2 smartest kids in our grade, which was like the first thing he ever said to me. And then my vocabulary just dribbled out the side of my ears. I was like, me smart, yes. So I broke out the spell book and I flipped to the page for love spells. I don't remember the spell. I think it involved me having to steal from him because I remember going to his locker and ripping pages from a math notebook. I think the spell required something he'd touched. Either way, it was insane. I think I took pieces of grass from his front yard. Unclear. It's fine. So I put all the ingredients in a wooden bowl from my family's kitchen and set them on fire with matches from the junk drawer, and then I chanted the spell. Is something burning? My dad asked, banging on the bathroom door. No! Okay. So I still pining away for this boy. He never spoke to me. But then I decided, you know, bolstered by the spell, I would IM him and ask him, yes, guys, I am. And ask him arbitrary questions from homework assignments. The spell hadn't exactly worked, but he was writing back to my chats, so that's a victory. It gets worse, you guys. I was so obsessed with him that at the end of every inevitable 5 to 10 line conversation, I would print out the transcript and keep it in a navy blue binder hidden in the back of my closet. When I was feeling depressed, I would reread my favorite parts or highlight lines I felt were important. And I would share them with my one friend at school, this girl named Alex. Alex transferred from public school. She wore gold jewelry and her bangs were gelled down to her forehead. She was really into the Olsen twins, and she sometimes showed me links to pro-anorexia websites, which was worrying. She also had a crush on the same boy, but instead of us driving us apart, our mutual interest made us best friends. I actually enjoyed hanging out with Alex and talking endlessly about this boy more than I ever really cared about dating him. Spoiler alert, I later turned out to be bisexual. It's fine. Alex and I would spend weekends sleeping over at each other's houses and coming up with new nicknames for him or theories about who he liked, and so we shared everything on the slim premise that we both liked this same boy. It ended normally. For high school, this boy left the private school we'd attended, moved to public school. We lost touch with each other in so much as we were ever in touch with each other. Alex moved schools, and we stopped talking, and I thought everything was over. Until senior year. So I'd spent most of 9th grade cleaning up my act. You know, I bought a hair straightener, stopped caring what people thought. But by the time I was a senior, I was still a virgin, and I considered myself open-minded and sexually liberal. I had a boyfriend of a year who I'd been reluctant to sleep with because, guys, I thought he was too obsessed with me. The irony's not lost. So he and I broke up, and then in April, he resurfaced. I'd gone to a house party with a female friend, and as I walked inside and the bong smoke parted, there he was. His face still had freckles, and he didn't really look that different, though he was no longer what I'd consider my type, and though I hadn't thought of him in years, I felt a strong urge to prove I wasn't the pathetic girl on the other end of those AIM conversations. He remembered me, and we chatted about the last 4 years, standing in the kitchen, red Solo cups in hand, and when he left the party that night, he asked for my number. So I danced to my car, but it wasn't enough. A couple weeks later, after we'd been talking on the phone for a while, I asked if he'd be interested in coming to my prom, and he accepted. Prom took place on a boat, and I wore a vintage 1950s dress with elbow-length silk black gloves, which no one appreciated. You guys remember that girl from school? That was me. So everyone got drunk at a hotel, because I went to private school. So I did shots, and then I practically dragged him into a vacant room, and we made out in our underwear and dry humped until he came. Thank you. Then I said the most charming thing I have ever said, which is, direct quote, you know, next time we could, do it for, real. Yeah, that was his reaction too, guys. No. He was like, whoa. The next time we hung out was 2 days later. He invited me to, again, a hotel on the beach where his friends were throwing a summer pre-college party. After a few minutes of making nice with everyone, we excused ourselves and went into the bedroom. They were, like, still in the living room, by the way. And then, guys, best part, he was a virgin too! Hey-oh, high fives for everyone. Okay. So, we had sex, whatever, that was fine and normal. I think setting a precedent for the rest of my life, he couldn't figure out how to get it in, and I was like, I'll do it. And I got on top, which is like such a ridiculous thing, I realized. And then I was like, done, finished, okay. And then like went into the bathroom, and he was like, do you need help? And I was like, I'm fine. Okay. And he was like, I'll just be here, and I was like, yeah, you do that. So anyway, not only had I successfully lost my virginity to the boy I'd been silently in love with for most of my adolescence, I had punched his view card. If that hadn't seemed in bad form, I would have high-fived myself during the act. Also, this has nothing to do with anything, but he later married an older woman, and I think it's because I was on top. It's a long theory, but okay. So look, I don't want to say that a spell I cast when I was 12 caused this boy to have sex with me, but didn't it? Okay, no, but for real, if anything, it had actually broken a spell, right? One in which, like, my childhood rejections had convinced me I wasn't cool or worthy of the things I wanted. So now I could head off to college knowing I was no one's pining as obsessive, right? I wanted to go back in time, hug middle school me, tell me everything was not going to be just okay, but amazing and awesome, and that this crush was going to turn out better than I ever thought, and that I deserved to be loved back. So, after 10 minutes, I got up, I put my clothes back on, I told him I had to go outside to make a phone call. Yes, I did say I have to go outside to make a phone call. And I grabbed my flip phone, thank you, and I stood in the empty hallway and I pulled my long sweaty hair back into a ponytail and then I called Alex. Thanks, guys.